The auditorium at Princeton University buzzed with anticipation as 200 students settled into their seats for Dr. Richard Coleman's advanced physics course. Coleman, a celebrated theoretical physicist with international accolades, commanded the room with an air of unchallenged authority. His gaze, sharp behind expensive glasses, landed on Marcus Johnson, a 19-year-old black student seated boldly in the front row. Marcus was not enrolled in the course, yet there he sat, unflinching under Coleman's scrutiny. "What are you doing in my class?" Coleman's voice sliced through the murmurs, silencing the room. His tone carried a mix of disdain and disbelief. "This is a course for exceptional minds, not for those admitted through quotas." The accusation hung heavy, drawing nervous whispers from the students. Marcus, the only black student present, met Coleman's glare with calm resolve. "I'm here to learn physics, sir," Marcus replied, his voice steady. Coleman scoffed, gesturing to the blackboard covered with intricate quantum electrodynamics equations. "Learn physics? You're out of your depth. This isn't high school." Unbeknownst to Coleman or the class, Marcus had grown up in one of Newark's toughest neighborhoods where schools lacked resources and qualified teachers. At 12, he'd found a discarded physics textbook in a dumpster, sparking a passion that became his escape from the surrounding violence. By 19, he had devoured every article Coleman had published, teaching himself advanced concepts with nothing but grit and salvaged books. "Let's settle this," Coleman said, a smirk playing on his lips. He pointed to a complex equation on the board, a problem designed to stump even seasoned doctoral students. "Solve it. You have 1 hour." The students exchanged uneasy glances, sensing a trap meant to humiliate the intruder. Marcus rose, his heart steady despite the weight of 200 pairs of eyes. As he approached the blackboard, memories flashed. Late nights studying by candlelight when the electricity was cut, mockery from peers who didn't understand his obsession, and the countless hours spent decoding the universe's secrets. He picked up the chalk, his fingers steady. "May I use the Coleman-Weinstein approach?" Marcus asked, referencing a method Coleman had co-developed, published in obscure journals. Coleman's eyebrows shot up, startled that this unassuming young man knew his work so intimately. As Marcus's chalk moved with precision, the auditorium's tension shifted to awe. His solution unfolded with elegance, transforming complex equations into a seamless narrative of the universe. Min, a research assistant under Coleman, watched intently. She recognized Marcus's approach as not just accurate but innovative, building on Coleman's own theories in ways she hadn't seen before. The professor, however, stood frozen, his confidence wavering. In 20 minutes, not the allotted hour, Marcus completed the solution. The room fell silent, the air thick with reluctant admiration. "Impossible," Coleman muttered, scanning the board. "You must have memorized this problem." Marcus shook his head. "No, sir. I applied your 20-20 transformation from the Journal of Quantum Physics, with a variation to streamline 3 steps. Coleman's face paled. That article was esoteric, cited fewer than 100 times. How could this young man from a Newark public school know it so well? "Class dismissed," he barked. "You, in my office. Now." As students filed out, whispering, excitedly, Min deliberately dropped papers near Marcus. "Help me," she said, bending down. In a hushed tone, she added, "He'll try to destroy you. Meet me at the library, 7 p.m., quantum physics section. Bring a flash drive." In Coleman's office, adorned with photos of him alongside Nobel laureates, the confrontation intensified. "Who solved that equation for you?" Coleman demanded, tossing Marcus's file across the desk. "A Newark public school? No awards? No competitions? Explain yourself." "I taught myself since I was 12, Marcus said calmly. Coleman slammed his fist. "Lies. Someone's using you. Takahashi? Goldstein from MIT? Marcus held his ground. "No one. I can prove it with any problem you choose." Coleman's eyes narrowed. "Superstring theory. Write a 10-page essay on its implications for unifying general relativity and quantum mechanics. By Friday. Impossible without formal training." "I'll have it by Thursday," Marcus replied, unflinching. That evening, in the library's quiet quantum physics section, Marcus met Min. "Why help me?" he asked. Min glanced around. "I know what it's like to be judged by appearance, not knowledge. Coleman's not just prejudiced, he's dishonest. 2 years ago, he stole a theory from an international student and expelled them when they protested." She handed him a flash drive. "This has proof. His next article is plagiarized from Professor Thompson, who died before publishing it." Marcus's stomach churned. Back in his small Newark apartment, where he lived with his mother, a nurse working double shifts, he opened a hidden closet. Beneath a loose floorboard lay his sanctuary: notes, recycled journal articles, and rejection letters from Princeton. Despite perfect grades, his scholarship applications had been denied 3 times. Undeterred, he'd devised a bold plan to infiltrate Coleman's class. Marcus emailed the physics department, invoking the expanded access program to request formal enrollment. This would force Coleman to justify any refusal publicly. Over the next few days, he worked on his superstring essay while analyzing Coleman's upcoming article. Using Min's evidence, he uncovered not only plagiarism, but critical errors Coleman had missed in the stolen work. In the cafeteria, Min found him. "Coleman's digging into your background. He knows about your rejected applications and thinks you're a pawn in an academic rivalry." "Good," Marcus said, a faint smile forming. "Let him think that." "What's your plan?" Min asked. "Justice," Marcus replied. "Not just for me." Marcus wasn't fighting only for himself. In Newark, he tutored gifted teens from marginalized communities, kids dismissed by a system that judged them by race or zip code. His fight was for them, too. On Thursday, Marcus delivered a 25-page essay on superstring theory, weaving in cutting-edge particle physics discoveries. Coleman, visibly stunned, flipped through it. "Surprising," he admitted grudgingly, "but you're still an intruder." "Not for long," Marcus said. "The academic committee meets tomorrow. I'll be there." That night, while Coleman reviewed his plagiarized article, Marcus finalized his analysis, exposing its flaws. The next day, the committee meeting hall was packed. Coleman, confident in his untouchable status, argued Marcus lacked qualifications. But Marcus presented 2 documents: his superstring essay, which drew murmurs of admiration, and a comparison proving Coleman's article was stolen from Thompson, complete with a critical error. "That's absurd," Coleman protested, but the committee's quick review confirmed Marcus's claims. "Page 7, Marcus said calmly. "The error invalidates the theory. A true physicist would have noticed." Coleman's accusations of manipulation fell flat. Min corroborated Marcus's evidence, revealing Coleman's history of silencing students. The committee chair, Dr. Harris, announced a formal investigation into Coleman and granted Marcus admission with a full scholarship. "You can't do this," Coleman shouted, lunging at Marcus before security intervened. "You're suspended," Harris declared. As Coleman was escorted out, applause erupted, led by minority students who'd long been marginalized. 3 months later, Marcus, now an assistant professor at 19, stood in Princeton's main auditorium, delivering his first lecture on applied quantum physics. His mother watched proudly from the front row, joined by minority students inspired by his journey. The investigation into Coleman exposed decades of discrimination and plagiarism, leading to further resignations. Marcus's classroom became a hub for talent from marginalized communities, connected virtually to his Newark study group. His outreach program, funded partly by his severance package, identified promising students nationwide. His publication on democratizing science gained as much attention as his quantum physics breakthroughs. Meanwhile, Coleman, his reputation ruined, taught basic physics at a small college. His publications retracted. Marcus, pausing by the faculty plaque bearing his name, was approached by black freshmen inspired by his story. "The greatest obstacle isn't ability," he told them. "It's a world convincing you that you don't belong. Prove your worth, and you open doors for everyone who follows." In his new apartment, Marcus reviewed a resume from a Chicago teen, a framed Princeton rejection letter beside him. A handwritten note read, Sometimes, you break down the door they close on you. Marcus's story wasn't just about genius. It was about courage, dismantling a system that excluded brilliance based on race or origin, and creating a path for others to shine.